Hello, everyone, and welcome to Webster Groves High School, side of today's Missouri Cyclones game against the Springfield Punishers. Punishers are going to open off with the ball, and they get it on special teams, and they're going to cross midfield on the kick return, trying to force him out of bounds, and he is still tiptoeing along the line, finally pushed out right around the 25. I think it'll officially be spotted at the 26, but a huge special teams play for the Punishers to start things off and get themselves in good field position.
Smith on the tackle. First down, Springfield.
So that vaunted Cyclones defense comes out onto the field first. A lot of times they like to put the defense out there to get things rolling. Run over towards the right hash mark, trying to cut up field and surrounded by about 3 Cyclones defenders. Might have gained a yard. They're going to maybe say about a foot or two past the original line of scrimmage. It essentially brings up 2nd and 9.
Second down coming up for Springfield.
Cyclones shifting their line just a little bit. 2 in the backfield. 3 receivers, 2 on the left. Man in motion. Fake the handoff. They wanted to throw out into the flat, but the Cyclones quickly surround the quarterback. And Hatcher comes up with the sack in the backfield. They're going to give the forward motion to the 35. So a loss of about 10 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. We saw something similar last game with the Cyclones getting the pressure on the quarterback in the first couple series. See if they can force an early 3 and out.
Let's make some noise and get this thing uncomfortable for these boys. Turn that sideline up for me, y'all. Turn it up.
4 guys with their hands in the dirt.
Get loud, get loud.
Pressure comes from the left-hand side. Throw over to the middle, and it's intercepted. Scott with the pick. He's out to the 10, up to the 20. Dancing around, finally forced out of bounds. At the first series of the game ends with an interception by your Missouri Cyclones. That'll put their offense out onto the field. And Scott was forced out of bounds right around the 25. Unfortunately, there was a penalty handed out on the play, so that's going to move the Cyclones back. That puts the ball around the 12-yard line. So still a big play for the Cyclones defense. Unfortunately, the refs getting the laundry out on the field pretty early here. 13 minutes left in the quarter. Run up the middle. Running into traffic pretty early was Chandler.
Chandler, the ball carrier.
Take it down at about the 20-yard line. Second down and about 2 to go. Clock rolling with 12 and a half to go in the first quarter. Cyclones with a lot of green in front of them, but trying to put points on the board here in the early going. 2 running back set for the Cyclones. Ledlove puts Chandler in motion. Now he's got one on either side. A little bit of a high snap, handoff. Again, they go up the middle and stopped right around the 20-yard line again.
Wiley, the ball carrier. Third down coming up for the Clones.
So a big third down coming up for the Cyclones. They'd like to keep some of that momentum that they had from the interception. These are those crazy situations. 2 yards just never seems like a whole lot, but when you've got the defense bearing down on you, it makes it tough. Handoff comes out the outside. Chandler's going to pick up the first down. He's past the 30, out to the 35, and finally taken down. 3 solid runs for the Cyclones right off the bat, getting the running backs the early action. Wiley and Chandler again in the backfield. Bit of a strong set coming up. Pitch out to Wiley. He's going to try up the right hash mark. Finds a little bit of a hole. He's up to the 40-yard line and finally runs into a bunch of bodies. Gain of about 4, maybe 5.
5-yard pickup. Bring up second down for the Cyclones.
10.5 to go here in the quarter.
Cyclones coming off of me.
Cyclones going a little bit old school here in the first quarter. Not quite 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but they're running the ball almost exclusively. Two receivers wide. Schmidt goes in motion. Ledlove switching up the running back. Fakes it to Wiley. Goes to the outside. They've got a little bit of a room up towards the first down marker. Going to be just a little bit short. That'll bring up third down, but very manageable.
Good pickup by Callahan. Third is short coming up for the Cyclones.
Ball's on the 44. They need to get it to at least the 45 to get the first down. Could be 2 down territory. They hand it off to Chandler. He goes up the right hash mark. He's got the first down.
First down, Cyclones.
They will mark him down at the 47. Move the sticks. 8:55 to go in the first quarter. Cyclones picking up good chunks of yardage. Scott and Wilborn are your wide receivers. Ledlove fakes it, goes over the middle. It's caught past the 40, running into 2 defenders. Good catch there for Schmidt.
Schmidt with the first down.
First throw of the game was a completion for Ledlove and a first down for your Cyclones.
Great throw by Ledlove.
Ball spotted at the 40. 8 to go. Handoff goes to Chandler. He slipped a little bit. He was going to be tackled most likely. That's a loss. Brings up 2nd and 12.
Number 22 on the tackle for Springfield.
So even though the sun's out now, we had a good bit of rain earlier this morning. Not sure if the field fully dried out. So anytime you try to plant, you run the risk of not catching the turf as much as you would like. Again, the fake handoff. Ledlove slips as well. Slips again. He's still on his feet, though. Crosses the 40. Gets past the original line of scrimmage and should bring up about 3rd and 9. Change of the receivers, going with some more speed as Gines and Bradley come out there. 6:45 to go. 3rd and long. Only one in the backfield. Cyclones spreading them out. Allen moves up. It's going to be a throw over towards the left-hand side. Wide open and passing the 30-yard line. The Cyclones get another first down.
First down, Cyclones. Mr. Bradley with the catch.
Move the sticks again. Ball down at the 29. 6 minutes to go in the first. Cyclones going to stay with the 2 receivers on either side. Bradley goes in motion. They hand it off. Allen trying to cut up field.
Allen, the ball carrier.
Gained a couple, got up towards the 26. 2nd down. Coaching staff for the Cyclones doing a good job of getting some good rotation here offensively. Still managing to keep things rolling, but keeping the bodies fresh. Wiley back in at running back. They throw to the left again. It's complete. 2 defenders there, but still a couple more yards picked up. Inside the 25, down to the 24, I guess they'll say. So 3rd down and mid. Cyclones got to get it down to the 19 to pick up a first down. 4:40 and running here to go in the first quarter.
Under 5 minutes left.
2 receivers to either side. Ledlove takes the snap right around face mask height. Play will not count. Too much motion going on. We get a false start on the Cyclones. That'll back it up. Three receivers to the left, 1 in the backfield. Gines goes in motion. Ledlove looking right. Takes his time. Throws one up through the air. He's got a man towards the back corner. Touchdown, Cyclones! Antonio Gines with the grab, and it is 6-0 for the home team. Clock stop with 3:54 to go in the first quarter. Cyclones up by 6, looking like they're going to go for 2. Cyclones with a great drive there. A good mix of running and passing, setting up a lot of runs at the beginning. They drew the defense in a little bit and then finally finished it off with a throw over the top to the right corner. Looks like Cyclones may have taken up too much time.
Don't have to delay a game.
Wilborn in motion, heads over to the right. Now Bradley coming over to the left. Fake the handoff, pressure coming from the outside, and Ledlove goes down. So the score will remain 6-0 in favor of the Cyclones.
Your Cyclones 6.
Nevertheless, a good first drive there for the Cyclones. They wanted to put up points. Touchdown is obviously preferable. They got that done. So you couldn't have started off the game much better. You get an interception defensively, a touchdown offensively. Take off a good chunk of time on the clock here in the first quarter as well.
He fixing it.
No, it's 6 on her. It's like one of the pieces missing off the board.
So one of the pieces missing off the scoreboard, so it looked like it say 5, but it's really 6.
Yeah, I know.
Scoreboard update, gang.
Cyclones with the kickoff. Line drive, bounces a couple times, fielded inside the 20-yard line. Punishers trying to come out towards the right hash mark, ran out of space, closed down quickly. Schmidt, one of 2 in on the tackle.
Schmidt on the tackle.
So Punishers come out on offense for the second time after getting it picked off last time around.
Shout out my guy Scooty Collins, my main man.
Hey, we good?
So Punishers spreading it out a little more this time. They've got 2 on either side, 1 in the backfield. Handoff comes up the middle. Cyclones see it pretty early, and tackle was made at around the 32-yard line.
Smith on the tackle. Grown man tackle, if I may add.
Smith came up with speed, laid the lumber right in the midsection of the running back. Coming with pressure, ball's down on the ground, and they still make something out of nothing. Good job there by the running back to come over towards the right hash mark, gain of about a yard on what could have been a disastrous play. That still leaves them with 3rd and 8. 3 minutes and now less as the clock continues to run here in the first quarter.
Third down coming up, fans. Let's get live.
Cyclones secondary bouncing around. They're ready for this. They know that the Punisher's going to be forced to throw. Little low snap at the knees. Throw over towards the left side. Open and caught by number 13. He gains more yards after the catch. And he is still trucking his way almost down to the 20-yard line. Huge pickup there for the Punishers. Punishers trying to go quickly. They fake the handoff. It's a quarterback scramble, and that is swallowed up. Absolutely no space there off the left tackle. Looks like they're going to give him the original line of scrimmage. That seems pretty generous. 90 seconds left in the quarter. Second down, 10 to go. Punishers trying to tighten it up a little bit along the line, get a little bit of extra help. They're looking towards the left on the throw, and it bounces off the ground on the quick out. Cyclones came with pressure up their right-hand side. Smith coming off the edge, forcing that throw a little bit earlier than they would have liked.
I like that. I like that. I like that in y'all.
They're down long coming up. 55 seconds left in the first quarter. Cyclones up by 6. Thanks to a lead glove touchdown to Antonio Gaines. Spreading them out, 2 receivers wide to either side. High snap, looking left, pressure coming up the middle. He just chucks it up into the air. It is caught, running backwards towards the 30-yard line. Now there's space in front. They're trying to get him before he gets to the first down, and he's taken down at the 15, so it will be short, but that allows the Punishers to at least make the decision about whether they want to go for it on fourth down.
Grown man tackle.
Baker came up, made the hit. Potential
It's youth night, bro.
Score denying hit, definitely a first down denying hit. Fourth down coming up.
Fourth down coming up, man. Low.
Ball at the 18. They need the
End of the first quarter.
They need the 14, I believe, and maybe 13 to get the first down. So 5 yards to go for a first down. They're going to swap sides, though. Flip ends of the field. 1 quarter is in the books, and the Cyclones are up by 6.
It's a piece broke off the scoreboard. That's why it looked like a 5. But it's a 6 up here, though.
Man, who keep asking this?
So it's been a solid start to the game for the Cyclones. They get an interception on the first series of the game. They come out, string together some solid offensive plays, several runs with some passes mixed in there, and they get a touchdown over towards the right corner. Now they're trying to keep the Punishers off the board on their second chance as well. They have it inside the red zone, but they've still got 5 to go to try to pick up a first down with fourth down coming up.
Walk-off win over the LA Dodgers.
Again.
Just letting head coach Twine know.
Fresh 15 minutes up on the scoreboard.
Dodgers up 2-0 in the series. Going for the sweep tomorrow.
Trying to go with a screen pass. Oh, and that had absolutely no chance of coming together. The pass was completed, but the Cyclones sniffed it out right from the beginning, a loss of about 3. So turnover on downs, and it is Cyclones football.
DC with the grown man tackle. Coach Chuck, y'all here tonight, y'all?
That'll bring the Cyclones offense back out onto the field. See if they can have similar success this time around. Again, going at that almost wishbone-like setup. Now they go running backs on either side. They hand it off, dancing around up the middle. Gain of a couple there for Wiley. And then where they mark it, he only gained one. Second and 9.
2nd and 9 coming up for the Cyclones.
Again, two receivers, Scott and that's Bradley on the other side of the receivers. Ledlove was looking left, running out of time. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket, throws over here to the near side. Scott has it, and now he's down up towards the 40, lowers the shoulder, gained another yard. Finally pushed out of bounds, but a first down for the Cyclones. Mark him down right around the 43. Clock rolls with 13:50 to go in the second. Two receivers to either side, one running back. Ledlove takes the snap, looking left, throws, and it's off the fingertips of Gines. Threw it a little bit too much towards the back shoulder, and as he was kind of spinning around, just went through the hands. Second and 10 coming up. Punishers looking like they're going to want to bring pressure up the left. Trying a spin move. Ledlove throws over to the left. It's caught, and that's Green in front. A spin move. A great catch and run there for Mr. Smith.
Big shout out to my man Burn ABS.
Another first down.
In the city. And they ain't gonna play with you now. They don't get you up out the establishment.
Ball across midfield. They mark it at the 46. 12:40 to go in the second quarter. Cyclones driving. Two on either side. Ledlove looking right. This play won't count. It's going to be holding. Touchdown is the result of the play, but unfortunately it's just not going to count.
I'll have a holding against the Cyclones.
Second time this game that we've seen the Ledlove to Gines connection result in the ball in the end zone, but unfortunately for the team in blue, they just always seem to get those penalties at the inopportune time. So that takes points off the board. Move them back. That's a really costly one. So now it sets up 1st and 20 from the 46. Same offensive setup. Good protection. Throw over the middle. Caught by Mr. Smith. He's past the original line of scrimmage. Taken down at the 32. Cyclones, for a moment, looked like they thought they were going to speed it up, and instead they needed a couple subs. Gines and Scott lined up here to the near side. One in the backfield. High snap. Led Love with good hands. Surveys the field. Thrown over to the left-hand side. Touchdown, Cyclones! Mr. Smith got in behind.
Touchdown, Cyclones.
A little bit more than 30 yards on the touchdown throw. And again, the Cyclones going to go for 2. Tyler Hack not in attendance here today, so you have to figure they're going to avoid all kicking situations if possible. Score is 12-0. Trying to get it up to 14 if they can cross the end zone line. Everybody out of the backfield. Ledlove going to scramble to the right. He takes on one tackler, reaching out, and he's got it. 2-point conversion made.
Conversion is good. Your Cyclones 14. Springfield 0.
Cyclones have 2 possessions, and they've got 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. It is 14-0. Sideline fired up. Cyclones came in 4-1. Punishers currently with only 1 win on the season. But right now, everything's been going the Cyclones' way. They've forced an interception and a turnover on downs on defense, 2 touchdowns on offense. Still in the early portion of the second quarter. But you got to figure the Punisher is going to have to start trying to chip away at this. Otherwise, this hill is going to become a rather large mountain to try to climb.
Miller set the kick.
Cyclones come up around the 32, missed a couple tackles.
Meyer on the tackle. 11:37 left in the second quarter.
They keep moving the spot. I think they're finally going to put it down at the 34. Springfield with their 3rd possession of the game. They've gotten the ball inside the red zone twice. Now, the first one was mainly due to a big special teams play on the run back on the initial kickoff. Second one was a big 45-yard throw that got them down there. But the offense just hasn't been able to get going here. The Cyclones defense has done a good job of smothering things and keeping the runs inside the box.
A flag on the play.
Flag comes from the far side. And the penalty goes against the Punishers. So they'll move back. Splitting them out wide, 2 on either side, 1 in the backfield. 11:37 to go in the quarter. Cyclones come with pressure, throw out to the left flat, and that is smothered there. Smith coming up to make the tackle after the initial slip. Put the receiver down at about the 26. A loss of 8. Those are the kind of plays that the Punishers can't afford to have. Cyclones defense just too good. He can't be playing this far behind the sticks. Man in motion. They're looking like they were trying to set up the screen. That just isn't going to come together. The ball's down on the field. It looks like the Punishers had it. It was down at the 10-yard line.
Mo with the assist. We got a timeout, Springfield.
Usual suspects in on that for the Cyclones, as Hatcher and Profit were right there. Unfortunately for them, they just didn't see the ball quickly enough, and that brings up 3rd down and forever. Ball at the 10-yard line, and the Punishers need to get it up to the 44 to pick up a first down. So 3rd and 34. That's not a distance you hear too often. .16 to go in the quarter. At this point, the Punishers just trying to get away from their end zone a little bit. Try to make a potential punt a little bit more comfortable. Cyclones would love to pick up another 2 points here if they can get them across the goal line. Quick out to the right-hand side, and coming over to sniff that one out is Hollins. Just absolutely no time for any of these catch receivers to make any kind of moves. Cyclones have been ball hawks all game long here in the first half. Clock rolling with under 10 to go in the half. Smith is back around the 40-yard line. And the high snap is out of the end zone, so that's going to result in a safety. Cyclones going to get the ball back as well as the 2 points.
With the score. Credit the entire defensive line. The trench guys. It's 16. It's 16. We got the 16 up there.
Tell them quit asking about that shit, man.
16-0 in favor of the Cyclones. Guys on the sideline continually pointing out there's a problem with the scoreboard, but there's just kind of one of those little sections of the number not lighting up properly, so it makes it look like there's a 5 instead of a 6. Again, that continues a heck of a start here for the Cyclones. It couldn't have gone much better. 3 defensive possessions. They haven't allowed any points against. In fact, they picked up 2 on the last one, and then you get 2 scores, on your first 2 offensive possessions. And if the Cyclones scored again, I mean, this one is pretty much put to bed the way their defense has been playing. Now, obviously, anything can happen. We saw last week, Cyclones were down 14-3 late in the game, came back and won 15-14.
McKinney set the return.
So Punisher's electing to go with the punt on the restart. Good kick. Gets it down to the 25, and it takes a Punisher's bounce. Cyclones have touched the ball, so now they've got to figure out something to do with it. Going over towards the left is Bradley, and he's got some space. He works his way up the hash mark, crosses the 40, almost down to the 45. They'll mark him at the 44. But that's a good turnaround there for the Cyclones. After both receivers were caught unaware, they're not used to facing an actual kicker that can boot it that far.
Cyclone first down.
But the Cyclones went about 34 yards. They fielded that right around the 10-yard line and got it out to the 44. So Ledlove comes back out there. We'll see what the Cyclones offense has in store this time around. Cyclones have gone a little bit more with the passes on the last time, so we'll see if they start handing it off a little bit more. Christian Myers in the backfield. 4 receivers. Fake to the handoff. Throw to the left. Oh, and that was almost intercepted. It was intended for Bradley. Pass was on target, but the cornerback made a good break on the ball and got the fingertips to it. .9:05 to go, first half. Love again fakes the handoff, goes out to, and again, that was kind of intended for Meyer.
Third down coming up.
So 3rd and 10. Only 5 seconds came off the clock. Gines goes in motion, cuts back out to the near sideline. Ledlove looking around, looks left first. Pressure coming. And now he chucks one up. He's got Mr. Smith in behind. It's caught, and it's a touchdown. That's actually Bradley. But again, the Cyclones get the receiver in behind the secondary. And Chris Bradley just had to look it into the breadbasket, cross the end zone, and we have a score of 22 right now. Trying to make it 24. First couple plays of that drive, not necessarily what the Cyclones wanted. They looked a little bit out of sorts. They come up with the big pass play, hand off to Meyer, and he has absolutely no opposition. Crosses the goal line, 2-point conversion made, 24-0 Cyclones.
Your Cyclones 24, Springfield 0.
So 8:48 to go here in the second quarter, and it's all Cyclones. The Cyclones offense has been spreading the love all around. Had at least 3 running backs that pick up good chunks of yardage. 3 touchdown passes to 3 receivers. First one to Gines, next one to Mr. Smith, and now Bradley. Ball bounces right around the 27. Punishers work it up the right sideline, run out of space, and they'll put him down around the 44. I think at the 46. And now the 47. I think I'd learned to stop giving numbers until they put the ball down.
Carl, they need you out there, bro. First down coming up for Springfield.
Springfield's 4th possession of the game. Handoff up the right hash mark, and just nothing there at all. Cyclones get him in the backfield, taken down close to the 45. They'll actually put him down at the 44, so it's a loss of 3. Clock running with just a little over 8 minutes to go here in the half. Second down and long coming up. The Punishers were running out of time, so they finally take a timeout. So I'm not sure what the holdup was there. They were in the huddle forever. By the time they finally broke it, coaching staff realized that they were about to get penalized, and they're already far enough behind the first down markers as it is. So clock stops with 7:36 to go in the first half. Cyclones up 24-0, thanks to some stellar defense and 3 touchdown passes as well.
Definitely got to give a big shout out to Parkway North Junior. The Parkway North Junior night. Big shout out to Parkway North Junior Vikings. My apologies. My apologies.
Second and long coming up. Running back split out to the left. Pressure coming off the right-hand side. They're trying another screen pass, and that would have been picked off by Weber had it not gone off the fingertips of number 21. As that throw was way over his head, and he just got enough onto it to avoid a big interception. So from the Springfield perspective, it at least keeps it third and possible. 7:32 to go. Again, pressure coming off the right edge. Quarterback runs over towards his right, trying to get away from it. Pass was incomplete off the ground. So that'll bring it up fourth down with 7:27 to go here in the second quarter.
Big shout out to all of our youth in attendance tonight.
And it looks like the Punishers are actually going to go for it. Yeah, I kind of understand it a little bit. You want to try to get something going, although it looks like they are going to run their kicker out here now.
And the Punishers will use their last timeout.
So just all sorts of miscommunication over along the Punisher side because they waited forever to send the kicker out there. I almost understood it from a certain perspective, like maybe they were trying to force the Cyclones into the personnel not being correct out on the field, but then you end up taking a timeout anyway. So you just you let them know what you're going to do no matter what. But it's just kind of been the way that it's gone thus far in this first half for Springfield. They've come up with a big play here or there, but just not enough consistency, and a lot of that has to go down to the Cyclones' defense just giving them absolutely no room. Anytime they've tried some screens or some plays that other defenses might not catch on to, the Cyclones were just right there to smother it. So they went with the throw. There were calls for pass interference, and there is a flag down. So not a bad decision there. Just trying to get something going here for the Punishers. They threw it over towards the left side. Now, the one interesting thing about that, obviously, is the normally you say the defender didn't even look for the ball, but in this case, the receiver didn't really even look for the ball. But ultimately, it doesn't matter as it results in a first down. $7:20 to go in the first half. And we get a whistle, and I'm going to have a delay of game.
Got to delay a game against Springfield.
So move it back to the 47. First down is the 32-yard line. Punishers still trying to get their setup correct. That's QB scramble over towards the right hash mark, and he's lost the ball. Cyclones are going to pick it up. It is Baker with the football. He's up to the 20, down to the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Cyclones. Scoop and score for the Cyclones. It's 30-0.
That's why Baker with the scoop and score.
So an absolutely demoralizing first half thus far for Springfield as the Cyclones have just managed to turn everything that they can into points. Another two-point conversion potentially on the board. 7:07 to go in the first half. Chandler gets the ball up the middle, and he has got it 32-0.
Your Cyclones 32, Springfield 0.
Still 7:07 to go.
Miller set the kick.
So that just kind of tells you the way that the game has gone thus far. Coming up will be the fifth possession of the half for Springfield. They don't have any points. Cyclones have only had the ball 3 times and got a penalty flag. The whistle came, but I don't know if the Cyclones heard it or not.
You had an outside kick out there.
So now the refs are discussing things.
Penalty against the Cyclone.
So I'm actually not sure what the original whistle came from, but then they're going to get the personal foul on the hit at midfield. So the ball is at the 20. And now we'll have the kick. Line drive off the chest. Picked up at the 40. And now there's space out in front. Another big special teams run back here for the Punishers. That's where they've gained the most amount of yards. They get the ball back towards the 20. We saw that on their first time around, and then they had the ball picked off.
Clark on the tackle.
.6:56 to go in the first half. Cyclones up by 32. Again, the Punishers taking forever to come out of the huddle. They go with a quick snap, handoff. And tackled in the backfield as the Cyclones just attacking everything right now. And for the Punishers, like, I would almost understand that if the clock was rolling, but it's a dead clock. You should have a play already called when you come on the field, so I'm not really sure what took them so long. Sideline trying to get them to hurry it up a little bit. Quarterback runs over to the right, and again, tackled for a loss. Baker coming over, forcing him out of bounds. Third and forever as the ball's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. They've got to get it down to the 10 for a first down, so 3rd and 20. There's a flag out on the field. But they're not going to move the ball, so who knows what that was about. That pitch out to the left. I think they were maybe thinking about throwing. Now they will. It's a little bit of a trick play going for the end zone, and it is almost intercepted.
Near interception.
Good defensive play there as he went up to battle for the ball. A few stray raindrops coming down. .538 to go, second quarter. Fourth down, and the Punisher's going to go for it. Good snap, good block, throw towards the end zone, and this one is intercepted. Nobody there except for Keelan Smith. He's running it up the right sideline. He's got a lot of blockers in front of him. He's past midfield, crosses the 40, and now he's going to score. They lost track of the ball, and it's a touchdown, Cyclones. 100 return for Smith. The Punishers, where the ball carrier where they was, excuse me, they got all sorts of turned around. And the pick six goes 100 yards the other way. $38 to nothing. 2-point conversion pending.
Two-point conversion attempt.
Ed Love in there with Meyer and Chandler. He's going to hand it off to Chandler. He goes up the right side, and again, just no pressure coming at all. Another 2-point conversion, and it is 40 to nothing.
Your Cyclones 40, Springfield 0. Yeah, it should. I think I probably got to the half. For sure after the half.
5:16 to go. First half. It has been all Cyclones. They got an interception on the first series of the game. Then they come back and touchdown pass to the right corner to Gines to make it 6-0. Get a turnover on downs the next time on defense, and then a 32-yard touchdown eventually to Mr. Smith to make it 14-0. A 3-and-out ended up with a safety over the head of the punter. Made it 16-0. 56-yard touchdown to Bradley. Made it 24-0. Fumble touchdown recovery. Made it 32-0. And now we get the pick six from Keelan Smith to make it 40-0. Returner swallowed up after he crossed the 30-yard line. Bit of a generous spot as they're going to give him the 34.
Left in the half. We're going to tap in with Kona Ice.
I think so.
So now sixth possession of the game for the Punishers. Two receivers to either side.
Got a flag on the play. Be a delay of game against Springfield.
That's got to be at least a third or fourth delay of game call on the Punishers. High snap, quick throw to the left, and that is picked off again.
Hatchery.
Another one. Keelan Smith dives into the end zone this time, and it's another pick six touchdown.
Get the vlog ready, man. Get the vlog ready, man. Get the cameras rolling, man.
So that makes it 46-0 in favor of the Cyclones.
46-0.
Cyclones changing up their offensive personnel.
2-point conversion attempt.
And it looks like Weber takes the snap, looking left on the throw, throws back over the middle, almost picked off as he was trying to find Baker.
Conversion no good.
That keeps it 46-0.
46. Springfield 0.
So rinse and repeat for the Cyclones. They've picked up points just almost on every time out on the field. They failed to score on the interception in the first series of the game, but then they turned the next offensive possession into points. I guess you could almost say last three defensive possessions they've gotten touchdowns off of. And then you include the safety out of the end zone. That was due to the defense as well. So it's in both sides of the ball, putting points on the board. 46-0 as the scoreboard is now miraculously working correctly. Squib kick along the ground, whether that was intended or not, is what happened. Looking for space up the right sideline. Ball is out. Punishers look like they're going to keep hold of it. A lot of points put on the board. Not too much time off the clock. 4:49 still left to go here in the first half. See if the Punishers can get a first down play off before the flag gets thrown this time around. Late sub coming on now for the Punishers. They're still right up against the play clock here. They got to be. I think that. And I mean, yeah, the ref is yelling at the quarterback. He's trying to give him every chance to try to get a play off, and instead it's another delay of game. And, I mean, I don't want to say too much. I'm pretty sure that Springfield has quit.
That's going to be the final for today.
So we okay, well, after what would that be? That's like what, 40% of a game? 45% maybe? your Missouri Cyclones are going to be victorious here this afternoon by a final score of 46-0, due to their opponent just saying they've had enough. So that's easy work there, I guess, for the Cyclones. They improved to 5-1 on the season. They will be back at home next weekend, next Saturday. So we'll be back on the call for you for that game. So hopefully you will join us then. What a showing here overall for the Cyclones. Again, just kind of running down. They get an interception on the first series of the game, score a touchdown on the next offensive series, 6-0. Turnover on downs. That leads to another 32-yard pass through the air to Mr. Smith to make it 14-0. Safety made it 16-0. 56-yard touchdown to Bradley made it 24-0. A fumble recovery made it 32-0. And then you get 2 pick sixes for Keelan Smith to make it 40-0, and the final of 46-0. So for everybody here at the Missouri Cyclones, I've been Todd Panula. For Eric Skelton, who's running things behind the scenes, we will say good afternoon and good night.